Hi, I'm Michael Bartlett, and I've been running for about 5 years now, and I'm training for a goal of a 135 half marathon in Myrtle Beach on October 17th.
Hi, my name is Jack Stevenson. I've been running for on and off about 20 years, but more seriously here in the last 4 to 5 years, and everything he just said, 135 Myrtle Beach in October. Looking forward to it.
Hey guys, my name is Joel. I am working on a Boston qualifying time of 3 hours, 20 minutes and 10 seconds. My goal race is the Erie Marathon, September 12th. I have been running for about 10 years.
Hey everyone, welcome to DevRunner. My name is Paul. I'm a certified running coach, and this is episode 7 of Chasing PRs. This series follows the runners on screen with me as they execute training plans that I've designed to help them reach their racing goals this fall. I'll be sharing running tips and advice to help everyone become a faster, stronger, and healthier runner. So please comment, subscribe, and ding that bell so that you get notifications whenever I post a new video. You can follow all of these guys on Strava. The links are shared in the show notes below here. And before we jump right in to talk to Joel about his marathon training this week, I want to shout out a video that I posted on my channel earlier this week. It is called 245 Marathon at 52 years old, episode number 1. Yes, believe it or not, I've begun the new series where everybody gets to follow my training as I attempt a 245 marathon on December 11th of 2021. And if everything works out, I'll be running the race in Kiowa Island, South Carolina. That's all I'm going to say about that. So go through my backlog if you want to find that. The fun has just begun on that one. So with that said, guys, Joel, let's talk about, I believe it is, yes, because you started when this series started. So this is week 7 of training for you. Let's talk about how the big workouts and the long run went for you.
Sure. Last Tuesday, I had a track day. So this week actually was a bit of a little less mileage. It was a really good week.
Yeah, it was a down week for you mileage wise.
It was, and I really enjoyed that thoroughly. So on Tuesday I had 2 800-meter intervals, a 1,600-meter interval, and then 2 additional 800-meter intervals. And they were my best times that I've had so far. So yeah, everything's progressing well.
Yeah, you killed it. You killed it at the track.
Yeah, so I'm really happy about that. On the Wednesday, I had my 10-mile aerobic run, as I have each week. And it was fine. It was, my average pace was slightly slower than previous weeks, but I think it was a bit of a hot day, and perhaps just with the effort on the track day the day before, I was slightly slower, but it was still I was still very happy with it.
Yeah, exactly. And you shouldn't be trying to always beat what you did the week before, especially on a down week. You've got all that residual built up fatigue, and the whole point of a down week is give that body a little bit of a rest, slow things down a little bit. As long as on the really intense workouts you're still putting in the effort so that your body doesn't think, oh, we're starting to slack, then you'll be fine.
Right. Okay. And then Thursday I had the easy run. I did it on a treadmill, and I did take it very easy.
Cool.
The Friday, I had an 11K run with 6.5K tempo. And again, it went very well. I was very happy with it. I think it was, if memory serves, weather was good. So that was a good run.
Yep.
I had a run on Saturday, an easy run on Saturday, 6.5K. You had said last week, let's speed those up a little bit just to put a little pressure on yourself for the long runs. So I did. I went out. I had a good pace. I was in an area that had very flat conditions, which I enjoyed fully. So I pushed pretty hard on that run. And then the highlight of the week for me was a 29K long run on Sunday. That again, it was very cool, very flat. The course was beautiful. And it was one of those runs again where I was kind of surprised at how good I felt, and when I did. So I just started picking up the pace. At about halfway, I just felt, let's just go a little faster, and it turned out to be a really good progression run.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a great week. Very happy with it.
Yeah, and it's great because that long run to me indicates a couple of things. That all the 6 weeks that built up to that, you are adapting. You're not being knocked down. I mean, you have to expect a little bit, like I said earlier, of residual fatigue as the weeks go by. But if your body hadn't been successfully adapting to the demands over the past month and a half, you wouldn't have been able to go out and do that on the long run, do a progression run that well. The other thing I really like about that long run is that the cooler weather and the flat terrain that you ran it on reminds me very much of the demands of your intended marathon race. So things are looking great for you. That should be an early indicator to you that you're well on your way to being able to achieve your goals. So be happy.
I am happy. And the other thing I'm still pleased about is I feel good. After the long run, I felt great. We had a couple hours after the run, we had to pile in the car and drive for 3 hours. I got out of sat in the car, got out of the car. I felt fine. So
that's awesome, because usually you'll start to stiffen up if you sit still too long.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool, man. All right, I'm excited for you. And so next week we will be talking about your super compensation week. Is like the technical terminology. You come out of an easy week, and then we push you with more mileage than you've ever had before, and more speed demands than you've ever had before, because we expect your body to be able to handle it after that rest, if you want to call it a rest. So we'll see what happens. And thank you, Joel, for sharing. Let's bounce it right to Jack and see how his week 6 went of training, the 2 workouts and your long run, Jack.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. The workouts, I think we're progressing steadily along as according to plan. The Tuesday workout, I think that was the surges, and it felt good. I mean, I think and I know Michael will attest here in a minute. The Carolina humidity really crept back in this week, particularly in the early morning hours. I mean, I don't believe there was a morning where dew point was under 72 degrees with the humidity around 96. So it was definitely a lot of stress just considering the weather. But Tuesday held on, felt pretty good on Tuesday. Definitely though impacted by the humidity as opposed to the prior week. Mm-hmm. The surges felt good again, physically feeling good, not, I'm not coming out like, oh, my legs are hurting, or, I'm being able to, get through that, and then get to Wednesday for a good rest day to kind of recoup, get ready for Thursday, and then recoup on Friday, get ready for that, the Hoss on Saturday. So that went well. Thursday woke up, weather again was just kind of very iffy with rain in the forecast. So I ended up I blame it on Michael. He talked me into inadvertently of going to the treadmill. So got that. So I went there to do the tempo run. And started off just your standard typical tempo run, 2 miles. Then brought up the intensity for 2, and then back down for the final 2. Felt pretty good there.
Let me ask you this before you go on to the long run. I'm very curious to talk a little bit about your perception of the tempo miles on the treadmill.
Yeah. You know,
For me, whenever I do a tempo run on the treadmill, those, even if I'm moving slower than I've ever moved, like on a track or something like that, there's something especially torturous about moving fast on a treadmill.
It is, because because you can't, like, you know, even when you're moving fast without a treadmill, you got that belt that just keeps going, so you got to go. You can't have that, even that split second of, oh, then go again, you know. So it's definitely that continuous motion. But I'm gonna tell you, like, having the air conditioning versus the breathing all the water out on that dew point is a completely different it's a different perspective. But I knew, and I did that intentionally, though, even though I'm kind of picking on Michael, you know, telling me to go to the Y. But you know, because I knew Saturday coming up, it was going to be a tough run, and so I wanted to make sure that, you know, not, you know, mentally as well as physically, that I was ready to do that the best I can. And then again, as we move into that long run that morning, and it's interesting, a lot of folks I talked to who worked out, either they worked out or they ran here, or they ran with Michael down at the beach. You know, it was just that morning at that particular time, the humidity was, I honestly, I don't know if I can remember a recent time that it was that bad, where you walked out of the door before you even took the first step, and it was like, wow, you just knew it was going to be a trying effort. And it was, you know, obviously we had 12 miles. So as Michael, he'll talk as well, but as we continue to accumulate that, it was our longest run of this training series yet. In addition to the mile, because you probably remember from last week, he and I we had the long run on, because of weather, go figure, we pushed our long run the Sunday last week. So by the time we got done with this 12-miler on Saturday, we have accumulated over 45 miles, you know, during a 7-day time period for us, which was when you look at it for that perspective, it was a big leap. But
Absolutely.
Aside from the mileage alone, I mean, it was, you know, it kind of went about as expected. Luckily it was an aerobic run. So, you know, I had the mindset of just keeping the steady pace there. I wanted to keep it, you know, I didn't want to go over 8 at all. I guess under 8, but just really keeping it at that around that area. So typically the first half of that run was much easier. And with the elevation here, it actually had more of a downhill slope for the first 6 miles, and in the 6 miles, it was definitely, you know, a pressure. And really with me on that one, I didn't feel winded not one time during that run. It was more just the sheer, I don't know what else to say, but it just felt like it was really hard to breathe out there. And particularly as the miles accumulated. And but we did, and talking about fueling and hydration, I did, you know, I was able to get to around mile 10, and I was able to get a really nice pop of Gatorade that helped me get through the rest of the run. But it was productive, but, you know, it was definitely more effort, just a little more of an assertive effort than I had intentionally or at least thought that it was going to take. And because I was not physically tired, it was just it was the air. I just could not get enough oxygen, you know.
Yeah, it just saps your energy like crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's all kinds of things that humidity does to you. I mean, it'll, you know, keeps your body temperature up because you're not shedding that heat. You know, it feels like you're just breathing soup, so it's not as easy to get as oxygenated as you're used to, you know. And you made a very, very good point early on in describing your long run, in the fact that because you guys pushed back your long run the week before, you basically had 2 long runs in the space of 7 days. So, you know, with all of that working against you guys, for you guys to come through it, impressive. And as torturous as it was for you guys to do that work, that will pay dividends, because whenever your body doesn't have a chance to fully recover from a former stressor, and then you go out and push again. This is kind of like the discussion I had with Joel last week, talking about go out on Tuesday, do a hard track day, and then you got to do a long run the next day. You build so much strength and endurance from that kind of pushing when you're not fully recovered. If you can manage to do that without breaking, then it really, 2-3 weeks later, and it really does take that long, 2-3 weeks later, you're so much stronger because of it. So you always keep that in mind. Like, you're not going to see it probably till like the first week of September. You guys are suddenly going to start going, wow, I notice how much stronger and more able I am now. So thank you for that, Jack. That was a great observance, and something that I hope everybody watching can learn from. So with that, I'm going to pass it on to Michael to get his perspective on week 6 of training.
So this week was it was pretty tough. It was the most mileage that I've ran since June. We had 34 miles on the schedule. So Monday and Friday were easy runs of 5 miles, and then we sort of had 2 workouts scheduled for Tuesday and Thursday. So Tuesday's run was 6 miles with the 4 surges, like Jack said. I did do that on the treadmill.
Gotcha.
It went well, ran those surges at tempo pace, so like 7:08,
Awesome.
per pace per mile. Felt good on that. One thing I did notice, so with I guess the mileage and the intensity sort of building now, I can feel that in my calves, especially after pushing the pace. But just a little muscle soreness.
Gotcha.
So then going into Thursday's workout, which was 6 miles, I did 2 warm up, 2 tempo, 2 cool down. And then, because this was the first time we've had consecutive, like a consecutive mileage or amount of time, for tempo, past like half miles, little surges.
Yeah. You guys are definitely moving into the more intense, getting out of strength phase and starting to move, preparing for speed, like really intense speed work. So,
right. So it felt good. I felt strong and ran those, I think, it's about 14 minutes of tempo, which, it felt good. And then just the cool down. And then 5 more easy on Friday. I did get outside for that run, which was nice. And then Saturday was the doozy. So I was at the beach. It was 12 miles. The temperature, I started at 5, a little after 5 in the morning. So it was still dark. Temperature was 79 degrees. Humidity was 96%. Dew point was like 75. It was literally the probably toughest conditions I've ever ran in.
good for you for getting it done. I mean,
yeah, I took, I wore my vest because I knew it was just going to be one of those that we're just going to have to grind through it. And I did like a 6 mile out and back. So it was, it was scheduled for like aerobic. So the pace should have been, mid 8s, but I couldn't get faster than 9 minutes per mile. Like my heart rate was super high. Like that was just what it was, like it was hard to breathe.
Yeah. And don't judge that run by pace. Judge it by the fact that you guys pushed further than you've ever pushed before and in really horrific conditions. So, so far, Michael, before I let you finish up, I want you and Jack to kind of like, when you guys are at mile 8, 9 of your race, when you are mid-race day and you're starting to have to dig deep for the reason to go on, to keep pushing when the pain is just getting worse. So far, that long run is the one I want you guys remembering. That's the one I want you guys to go to draw strength from, to think, if I can do that, I can do this. You know what I mean? So yeah, please keep going, Mike.
Yeah, so I took my my vest. I ran with like a mixture, electrolyte mix in the pack, which helped. And then I had 2 gels on the run. I just needed them to get through. So
yeah,
I feel like they did help. I was able to pick up my cadence a little bit towards the end. I was still running, about the same pace, but I was moving my legs a little faster to try to get through it, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, I mean, as far as everybody goes, I'm impressed with everybody. Again, I know I sound like a broken record, but you guys are making all the right moves. You're making my job as a coach easy. So the only thing I want to circle back on, guys, before I give everybody a chance to make some final statements. Jack, I just, you did mention briefly that you took a quick hit of Gatorade at like mile 10 of your long run. Are you carrying fuel, either gels and or liquids with you at this point, or are you just kind of like?
Yeah, I kind of, because I had Saturday, I wanted to kind of get some tests on kind of what was feeling like, not even thinking about the conditions at that point, but I strategically had the route run back by my house by mile 10. So I would have that there to do, just to kind of get a sense of where I would need that. I've never carried anything like that, to be honest, like ever before, because I've never been such a long distance runner. It's been more that mid distance. So I'm just kind of trying to fill out where that is. But it's, definitely, I think Friday or Saturday taught me like, I'm definitely going to need that.
Especially going into that 13 miler at half marathon pace next week. I want to get you set up as soon as possible, even if I have to send you something, a piece of my equipment. I do not want you going into that run without some way to carry fuel. So let's talk offline after this. But guys, we are really, really close to the wire here, because I did get the warning from Zoom that we're running out of time here. So I'm going to leave it to the 3 of you guys. Last thoughts on this past week's training, or any very pressing questions that you might have regarding next week's training. Guys, have at it.
All good here. I'm just looking forward to this week being over. After this, things get a little easier for me. So this is the big week coming up.
Yep, gotcha. All right, well, the best of luck to you. I know you're going to handle it, Joel.
Yeah, big week for Michael and I with the 13 miler. I think it's the last 4 at half marathon pace. So, big day on Saturday for us, and looking forward to taking that next step.
Awesome. Michael, any last thoughts?
Yeah, it's going to be a good week. It's going to be tough, but we'll get through it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, because in all truth, guys, Michael and Jack, you make it through this coming week. I promise you, your race is going to seem easy compared to what you're about to do this coming Saturday. So, the conditions will be better. The land will be flatter. You'll be properly fueled. Trust me, this is going to be tougher than your race. So go into it with that can-do attitude, and that race will be yours. So with that, guys, I just want to thank you all again for being here. What can I say? You guys are the best. So with that, everyone, thank you for watching. And I just want to pass along my little catchphrase before we get out of here. Get healthy, stay strong, and keep pushing. Peace out, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.